Hey guys, Bolt here, and so this is something that's going to go on both Bolt and SB Studios because it has to do with YouTube as a whole. Um, this is the scariest decision that YouTube has made. So basically, if you haven't noticed, a lot of things throughout the last few years have just been shit on their part. Um, and personally, I don't care about, eventually getting to the point of, being a partner because it's just YouTube is such a bad system anymore that through the years it is almost impossible to have a job on this platform. We've had this problem a lot with like updates to language barriers where it's just like, hey, if you cuss within the first minute or so or the first few seconds, which maybe that's someone's humor, that's why people like them, is that they're very open mouthed. While I personally don't care too much else than to like enhance what it is, because what am I gonna say? Poop? No, it's shit. But anyways, it's just they taken that. Then a few years ago they had Copa attack them. That was on their part, not our part. But then they made it our problem because then it's like, now we have a new system, and if you don't correct this and do stuff that will make it easier for us to suggest certain videos to certain things instead of using our entirely separate thing called YouTube Kids to platform them. Hey, at the beginning of starting YouTube, hey, you need to be 13, 16 years of age for using this site. That to protect your butt. No, you make it everyone else's problem. Instead of using this separate platform for kids, you're making it horrible for the people over here that are mostly teenagers, adults, doing stuff. And that ended up to where several videos were deleted, several segments were deleted, certain videos, certain channels were deleted, and then we've also had the issue with a lot of people that were underage were no longer deemed partners because of the age thing, so they got unpartnered, and that was just a whole other issue. But what we're talking about today is probably the worst decision ever, which is, if you don't understand how people make money on YouTube, it is basically this. Ads are the only reason anyone gets paid on here. Basically, YouTube will get paid by the advertiser to advertise, and they give a percentage, a very, very, very small percentage, to the creator for putting it on their creation. And this is why most of the time, if you play a video that isn't partnered with someone, unless it is copyrighted or copyright claimed, it'll most likely have no ads. But when they run ads, every time you watch it fully, they get paid for the full thing. If you cut it up, or like there's ad blockers, it stops them from getting paid. But from what I understand recently is that they have noticed, and I've actually noticed this, and it does irritate me a little bit when it's something like music or like a big announcement for a creator, or I'm watching a YouTube original show, the ads will break up in the middle thing and interrupt certain segments, and that's what they're worried about. Is, hey, we don't want to interrupt anyone while they're talking about something, while certain actions are happening, and this is an issue with people that have learned how to edit content. And this was something I was working towards, but it seems like this might be the worst idea, period, because if you edit your videos to where a lot of action is happening, basically, the new update is that basically, as long as action is happening, ads cannot be played on there. So if you edit it perfectly to where there's constant action happening throughout your videos, you're keeping your you're talking, you're keeping your people engaged, you're playing a certain game or having a certain thing that is like keeping your people's eyes on it, they can't make a single dime off their video now. And I'm gonna straight up say 8-Bit Ryan is probably the best person to go and look at when it comes to understanding the system. And basically, he was explaining that they gave them the option to customize ads to make it easier. But the issue is, those customized ads can be negated if the YouTube system itself says, no, we see that there's something playing during this segment, so we will not be playing an advertisement there. So even if they give them the tools to do so, the YouTube systems themselves says. So it's just basically YouTube is such a yes, me as a viewer will like that, but me as a creator will hate that because if you ever want to make this a living, you can't. I mean, it's already been horrible where most creators are already going to other platforms or they're doing multiple other things. Most people make money off of clothing brands, merchandise. It's weird that back then they could just do nothing but content create. Now you got to be able to run several different industries to make a living, which, that's kind of dumb. They're just like, hey, I'm here just to kind of learn a little bit of content design and a little bit of editing skills. Nope, now I gotta learn how to make my own Gucci brand. It's stupid. And then not only that, but you also gotta go with your viewers to try to figure out what they want. And if the sales fail, of course, that means you can get in trouble. But the thing that I'm mostly scared about is that this might cut a lot of creators out and might push a lot of people who were using this as their main job gone from the YouTube platform. This is already scary with things like, I think Game Theory may not be affected as much because they have a whole company that can figure this out. But if it's just a solo creator like some of the more recent people, I don't think they're going to be able to be on here for much longer until they figure something out to make it so it's content creator positive. Then I think YouTube is just going to be a forgotten thing. It's going to be used for people to be like, hey, I still exist, but if you want a massive most of my content, I'm going to go stream on Twitch. I'm going to go on OnlyFans, Patreon, all these other places where they can get money from it. It's just a shit show here on YouTube. And it's been on the downhill. There's been multiple of these videos. I think I made one or two of these before. And while I don't get affected by this because I have a full-time job out of this, it is something that I think you, as a viewer, needs to go out and do your own studies, get an understanding yourself. But when it comes to other creators that that don't have these massive companies or cooperations with other big things that make them more money that isn't YouTube, I would start giving them feedback in ways to get them on their own without having to worry about possibly being unemployed thanks to YouTube's decisions against their own money makers. Which, that's another thing I can't understand, is just people say Markiplier who's learned how to cut their videos in a certain way so that, audiences are constantly doing something. But that means people like him aren't going to get ads as much. So that means YouTube themselves are going to start losing money. So I think unless they start noticing it quickly, we'll lose a lot of people, their jobs, people who haven't been on here for forever with a whole standing, like I said, with a whole setup of their own. I think we're going to lose a lot of smaller-ish creators. or anyone who's only using YouTube. I think we're going to lose them before it gets better. Basically, they're going to have to rehold this system to where it's just like, yes, we can work with the creators, but for like people who don't, like, say my content is, like, I have little edits every now and again, but for most of my thing, it's mostly a very low edited video, unless it's one of those where there are a lot of chances for dead spaces, where their system can just automatically throw stuff in there. I think for bigger creators who have higher editing skills, or people who, like 8-Bit Ryan was saying, is he's got editors he's got to pay, and he can pay them thanks to the job through YouTube. That's other people that are losing their jobs because they can't make enough anymore. And that also forces them to not be as creative with their videos anymore. It is punishing to be creative on this platform anymore, is my final talk. But anyways, I'm going to be starting to probably overhaul, unless things start getting better, I'll probably overhaul most of my content to Twitch. And not do so much exclusive stuff over here. I mean, Dokkan Battle will still be only over here, but it's just looking like it is best to be literally anywhere but here at the moment. I know TikTok just came back, but that's also very scary. But I wouldn't bank on one solo platform. If you can, try to expand as much as possible. Anyways, I will link 8-Bit Ryan's video in the description. Hopefully he'll get you a better understanding of what's going on. But anyways, please support every single person that you care for on this platform. Give them, positive feedback. Trying to get them into a better situation, because unless YouTube smartens up and makes actual business decisions with the partners that they've made, especially with people that have been here for so long, it's something that might get something like, I don't know. We lost Vine. We've lost Vine and got it replaced with TikTok. I think that might be what's gonna happen here soon with YouTube. Is people are gonna notice there's gonna be a market for there to be a replacement for YouTube, and it's gonna be hopefully a lot better content creator positive. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, if you want to see me, I do have both my primary, my secondary, and my Twitch in the description as well. But alright, bye bye. Thanks for your time.